Can you really spot a lie? We all think we can. We look for the shifty eyes, the nervous fidgeting, all that stuff. But what if I told you the biggest clues aren't in what you see, but in what you hear? Or, more importantly, what you don't hear?
All right, so the very first thing we have to do, you've got to forget almost everything you think you know about lie detection. Seriously. Just throw it out. Body language, eye contact, turns out that's mostly myth. It's so easy to fake, and honestly, we get it wrong all the time. The real secret is way, way more subtle. See, the key isn't looking for some physical sign of guilt. It's about listening for the sheer mental effort it takes to lie. We're not hunting for a nervous twitch. We're on the lookout for the signs of a brain that's being pushed into overdrive. And that's what we're breaking down today. We're going to dive deep into the modern psychology of deception. We're going to move right past those old cliches and get into the real cognitive science of what's happening inside our minds when we decide to be, well, dishonest. So let's just start with the most basic idea here. Lying is hard work. It's not passive. It's an active, conscious process that takes a ton of brain power that telling the truth just doesn't require. I love this quote because it just completely reframes everything. Think about it for a second. When you're telling the truth, all you're doing is remembering something. It's like you're just playing back a movie that's already stored in your head. But when you lie, oh man, you've got to do three things all at once. You have to actively suppress the truth, you have to invent a whole new story that sounds believable, and then you have to perform that story convincingly. That is a massive load on your brain. So to really understand the strain that a lie puts on the brain, we first have to appreciate how easy the truth is. We need to establish a baseline. Let's talk about what an honest mind actually sounds like in its natural state. There's this incredible concept from Japanese martial arts called Mushin. It translates to mind without mind. It's that perfect state of flow where your body just acts without you having to consciously think about it. It's pure instinct. And that's not just for martial artists. That's kind of the state our brain is in when we're just effortlessly recalling a simple truth. And that Mushin state, it creates this beautiful, natural rhythm in a conversation, right? If you ask me what I had for breakfast, I don't have to think. The answer just flows out. It's completely effortless. That smooth, uninterrupted cadence, that's the sound of honesty. So, if truth has this natural flow, like a river, then deception is what happens when someone suddenly builds a dam. A lie is a disruption in that rhythm. It's the thing that stops the flow of memory dead in its tracks. Let's just look at this side by side. It makes it super clear. On one side, you've got truth-telling. It's a flow state, it's just effortless recall, that's Mushin. And on the other side, lie-telling. That's a heavy mental load, it's active construction, conscious calculation. It's the difference between just remembering the lyrics to a song versus having to write a brand new song on the spot. And all of that frantic mental work, that gear shifting from recalling to creating, it produces one of the most reliable tells in existence. It's not a twitch, it's not a weird look. It's a sound, or actually a lack of one. It's the micro-hesitation. That tiny, almost unnoticeable pause right before they answer. Okay, so this is the part you've been waiting for. How do we actually spot this in a real conversation? And look, this isn't about becoming some kind of interrogator. It's just about being a more active and a more observant listener. So here's how you listen for it. First, you just establish their baseline. Ask simple, easy questions like, hey, how was your weekend? Or did you catch the game last night? Just listen to their rhythm, the pace of their normal answers. That's their flow. Then, later, when you ask a more important question, you're listening for a break in that pattern. But, and this is so important, a hesitation is not proof of guilt. It's not. It's just the sound of a brain switching gears from recall to construct. It's the literal sound of a brain at work. And that's really what this all boils down to. You stop listening for the flaws in the story they're telling you, and you start listening for the silence they needed to build that story in the first place. That little gap, that's where the truth often is. So the takeaway here is definitely not to become some human lie detector and start distrusting everybody. It's about becoming a more mindful listener, someone who's just aware of what's going on behind the words. But now that you know what to listen for, I have to wonder, how is it going to change the way you hear the world?